So here's another thing. Prop 1, and I guess people are going for it or something. I mean, I'm hoping that a lot of people just see through the bullshit. Once again, it just reinforces these labels of drug addicted or crazy and or. Um, Yet, doesn't it follow also that if you have homeless people over here and you have the highest housing costs anywhere over here in the same place, that as the job market gets diluted by an influx of people that are employable, probably know a lot of skills. Hey, one thing I'll say about the migrants, I'm not saying they're unskilled or they're stupid or they're pieces of shit necessarily, no more than anybody in America. But if you have those factors, couldn't you see the chain down? So now, as you got white people that are employed and housed, then you got these people coming in, and the age and new faces and everything is shoving them out. So how are they going to afford the same residential living situation that they had prior? Because let's face it, the pandemic, whether you believe it or not, and I don't, well, I believe obviously that the pandemic happened. It was a pandemic of pussification. Uh, that changed everything. So really, it's almost like a BCAD kind of thing. Um, Nowhere in Prop 1 does it address or really even mention what to do about the people that are neither. Now, are you saying, because if that's the case, let's back up again. If you have a growing population of people in this one sector, and you're going to blame all their problems on being drug addicted and or crazy, but it's growing. So that means you have more people flipping out and getting addicted or going crazy or whatever. Why? Wouldn't that be a quasi-epidemic of its own? And if it happens in all these states and all over, well, not all over the world, in all of these various states, for political agendas, there's probably always, everywhere, going to be some people that are homeless. Because for some reason, I doubt they prefer it. Nobody wants it. It just is, but there always has been. But the rest of them, how do you explain all the fucking numbers? And they're not all lunatics. And I tell you that the population of homeless is 1/10. They are only counting 1/10, what they're telling you of. It's so much huger, so much larger. And that's because the media lies to you. It represses news about the truth. It talks to regular people all the time. There's people, the invisible people on YouTube. They talk to people that have heart-wrenching stories, and they don't include people that were CEOs of companies, people that were things. They did things. And all of a sudden, the rug got pulled out from underneath them, and they didn't have their fangs no more. Prop 1, this is a politically driven thing to categorize. It goes right along with Bill 1011, which says the hidden homeless, the silent homeless, all this. They find everybody. So if they can't just get the car sleepers, they're getting everybody. If you don't have your name on the title of a property where you reside, then you are technically homeless. And if you are homeless, that's 1011 that does that. Now, even children under 16 years old living at their parents' house, according to Bill 1011, are homeless. Really? Because I could have swore that for that period of time in my youth, that was my fucking home. And what happens when you're living there and your parent, it's understood they're going to leave the generational house to you, because you could be a farmer that has lands and it has a house on it, but if you're going to take up the family farming thing, then you will, by virtue of being the descendant, inherit the house. And yet, up until the point to when you inherit the house, you're homeless? What? That seems like a chink where some kind of chink in the armor where somebody's going to stick a little stiletto in there. Okay, but Bill 1011 does that. Now, Prop 1 says that if you are homeless, by default, you are drug addicted and or crazy. In which case, then we need to assist you with your addiction and your mental health, of which really addiction is mental health. So really what we're saying is, if you don't have a home because you lost your home due to whatever reason, you're instantly crazy. It's like the old English teacher that would tell you in 11th grade, hey, pull out every unnecessary word and punctuation mark in this paragraph. And you cut and chop and realize that this is that, and you could, condense down to usually about a sentence. That's what it is. And so how is that flying I think through rushed legislation, they try to rush it in and it's in place before anybody can ever know about it. And the media doesn't report it, and all of a sudden you realize that 10 years ago you were fine, and now you're this category of people that's unacceptable in this society. Oh wait, I look around my society and I don't even see the same demographics that I did before 10 years ago. So you've replaced that whole chunk of people with this other chunk of people, and now you're saying the original chunk of people, they're scumbags, they gotta go. This is what I'm talking about. Nobody's even given thought to that. I didn't until it happened to me. I'm only saying this now. It doesn't mean that because somebody hasn't thought about something that they're a scumbag. What it does mean is that if you do think about it and you come to those same conclusions, then you could be a scumbag. I was faced with irrevocable facts, and I was forced to come to concrete conclusions about the nature of reality and humans. And one of the things is that we don't know half of what we think we know. The fucking bullshit media, they not only lie to you and repress things that are real, they have this way of falsely bolstering people's self-image and idea of inflate their idea of their intelligence, because most people are very stupid, and yet I've puffed up because I am a retainer of facts. I am a giant container retainer. Anyway, Prop 1, I don't know if it's passed yet or not, if it's still up in the air. If it did, God help us all. If it didn't start fighting back,